development agent for the Community Learning Center at Netagamiou School, which is located in Chevery on the lower north shore of Quebec. So at the heart of our community, Netagamiou School amplifies a collaborative educational approach by hosting both a French and English school, therefore promoting bilingualism and enriching learning experience that we offer a preschool, elementary, high school, along with a community learning center, adult education services, and our municipal library, all in one building. We are very nature-based right from the get-go, as you can see on the first slide. It's a village of our community, so we're a very small, remote community in the northern of Quebec. We currently already have indoor gardens in our school, a school recycling program, healthy snack initiatives, and bird feeders outside of each classroom so that we could get in touch with nature as we were doing it inside. And we decided last year, talking with students and with teachers and staff members, about this outdoor classroom. We wanted to have a platform where we can keep resources outside of the school instead of bringing all the outdoors in. We wanted to see if we could just actually get out there and go forward like that. So that's what we did. We decided that we were going to sit down with our students and our staff and put together a project. Our first step in doing so was creating a team and a vision. So this, I would say, is the success to any project with the CLC, is having a team put together so that we can share all of our expertise as one. And that way we can take different parts of the project and put it together. My team for this project was one primary teacher, one secondary teacher, a maintenance employee that works for our school board at our school principal, and myself. By joining forces, we were able to work on different aspects of the project simultaneously. So our teachers, their job and role was to have meetings and get together with all the other teachers within the school to see what their wish lists were, what they wanted. No wish was too big, no wish was too small. What we had wanted was everybody's ideas and what they thought. And then we wanted to compare everybody's and to come together with a program that we could put together before we even looked at funding or anything else. Is what did we want as a school for our outsource program? And that's one of the most important parts of our project and how our project got so big. After that, me and the maintenance, my maintenance partner of our employee of our school, we went around our school grounds, all of our school properties, what we had already and what we could build for. And then we came back together to put it on paper. We also sent out surveys to our students. What would interest them? Science, space, just being in the fresh air, zen zones. Like, there's a lot to it. There's not always one classroom that's going to fit all. The same as outdoor learning experience. One experience is not going to be for everyone, but we wanted to make it for everybody. Because we're in a remote community, we also want to make sure that this park or these outdoor classrooms and stations became something that our community could be proud of, that we could use in the evenings, that we could use it, because there is not much, unfortunately, for our youth in these small communities that are remote, right? We have school, and the school is the heart of our community. So on my next slide, you will see that I explain a little bit of our community and our school. You will see that there's skidoos, snowmobiles. It's a part of our life, working outside and being outside. Our students travel to school on snowmobile. Certain ones that come from other communities travel by helicopter Monday morning. They spend a week in our community and they go back home on Fridays. So of course we have different realities, maybe of other schools, but the gist of things are still the same. The importance is getting our kids outside and getting them interested in learning in different ways.
Sorry to
So,
cut in, Crystal. I'm not sure the slide switched. Am I the only one who's not seeing it switch?
oh, it did not switch. I'm so sorry. Just 1 minute from the beginning, from the current slide. Are we seeing the slide change now?
No, it's still nature-based learning, the opening slide.
Okay, just one moment. All right, so I'm just going to go. Perfect. So, the presentation that I'm showing you guys is what we're installing in our school. I'm also going to be talking about the funding or whatnot, but to understand how we are going to integrate 11 different learning stations outside of our school, it's important to understand the landscape of where we are. So Chevry is a gym defined by a rich, captivating landscape blending with lush wetlands, dense forests, and a vast tundra. We have no pollution from light. So we have everything that anyone that wants to learn in nature could have. At the Arctic Community is our school, which brings us all together. So that was just a resume of what we were talking about earlier. If I move on to the next slide, this is our intent. So this is what myself, the teachers, our students came up with. It's what we wanted. So we wanted to have a bird sanctuary. We wanted to have an outdoor classroom. On our school grounds, we're lucky enough that we have wetlands that are a part of our property. We wanted to have an assembly area for all of our students, for all of our staff to be able to go outside. We wanted to have to be able to do arts and music in some way outside, if it's even during recess times. We wanted to have a Zen zone or a relaxation zone. We wanted to have some gardening. We wanted to have an observation area on the river because we are based on a river, a Netagamiou River, which is a saltwater birds and also a salmon river. We wanted to have a weather station because with our realities, we live in an erosion zone. Our beach is in erosion zones. And if we look in the other 100-year projections, our school will no longer be existent if we don't do something with our erosion zones. We knew that we wanted something to do with space, and we wanted to make sure that our partners felt that they were welcome, which is the Maison de la Famille La Basse-Côte-Nord, which is another group that uses our resources at our school already, and they had things that they wanted to be installed. So in general, this was our idea. We want these stations to be up and working. Then we went and looked at the landscape and we realized that we had these natural trails. And my child's in this picture, but these are natural trails right in our schoolyard that we have. So how were we going to link them? We said instead of doing one big classroom, we thought we could do mini stations so that you have a trail to go through. Our bird sanctuaries at our school, these were already an area favorite among our elementary French classes. We already had bird feeders out. So with a partnership with our Nutrition North education programs, uh, last year we created 6 boxes, garden boxes, and we added them to the sanctuary. We also went in to the school board and we asked them to have a fence to put around because our school wasn't fenced in everywhere because we were having issues with snowmobiles and AVTs passing on school property where these bird sanctuaries were. So last year we did the garden bids and we installed these beautiful fences. This year in our project, we also added signage, then a bird bath, butterfly houses, and new benches for people to sit on. Our outdoor classroom. So our teachers, we came together and we said we wanted a space with a walkway to extend from our classroom so that we can use our indoor shoes to walk out to our outdoor classroom with not necessarily changing shoes and everything to do so. We also wanted to make sure we had electricity there, so we went with the solar panels and a Blue Eddy charging system with whiteboards and a storage area. So this is technically a 12-seated classroom for at least 12 students and a teacher based for, and it's just outside of our school where the platform will be, and it will be powered so we can take all of our electronics if we need them and still be outside in our space, which was important that we could still use the technology and still be able to do the outdoor portion. From here, we decided, well, we have wetlands just beyond the pass. What can we do with wetlands? These have been a problem actually within our community for years because of flooding in the spring with the snow. So we wanted to do something there that we could actually protect these with and making spaces for them so that not all the areas are necessarily protected, but the ones behind our schools are, right? Because within our community, a lot of people with the houses and stuff, they're making new drainages and stuff. So we know that these ecosystems are important to our area, but we also know they're very interactive for our students to be with, you know? So we concentrated on this on docks to put out there so that we can do wetland studies. From there, we wanted assembly area, something that we do not have in our school. We do not have a big school. We have ran out of literally space inside of our school. There is no space available, no extra classrooms, no. So we wanted a space that we could all be together as our students and our teachers outside. So we can take them all outside and do general assemblies or whatnot, but in outdoors. Our next one was arts and music. So we wanted to design a space that people could express themselves. And the purpose of doing so was more for the younger ages in our school, our primary students, to do so. Then we are doing a Zen zone, which to us is a great place just to promote a place to have relaxation if it's during recess or reflection to go out to read a book. You know, so our project includes installing 12 different types of hammock and hammock seats for our students. Netagamiou Gardens. Well, our garden projects have been here for a while. Last year, our school went and got a garden tower. So we've been growing our own projects in our school. We've been getting these from funding from our Nutrition North education programs, which is a program to educate our students in the North of sustainability and eating healthy habits, you know, growing your own food because our reality is that our groceries come in by plane once a week during a dry period. So by doing so, we've partnered with Nutrition North Education and also our Senior Citizens Club. And when we have products that have grown inside, is if we don't use them for our snack programs, we've been sharing them with our Meals on Wheels program, which is a program our students also enjoy and take place with, delivering meals twice a week to our seniors within our community. So we've wanted to add it on and have our have exterior gardens as well, not only for products, but for plants, for the bees, for everything, right? So we went ahead with gardens. So we have when we talk about gardens, we're not only talking about garden beds outside, but we're also talking about a greenhouse that will be fully functional on itself with rain barrels and irrigation systems that will not be needed to be that we don't physically necessarily have to be there in the summertime. Our school, which is very important, and one of our partners is with our municipality and our local committees, um, hosts our summer camp program in our community. Because we do not have space for that, they do not have space, we lend them our school, kitchen, gym, and all of our facilities outside for our for their summer camp program. And I also am on the committee with the summer camp program, so I help to ensure that these equipments are used safely during our summertime. Because the students that are using our summer camp are our students that are using our school, right, in a small community. After that, we're installing on the Netagamiou River a saltwater bird observation point. By doing so, we're installing a sightseeing telescope so that we can look at the wildlife out there, which is going to be for everybody in our community. So regardless if you attend our school or not, These are points that we're putting in for people that are coming in for tourism, that people that live here, for whoever wants to use them. They're going to be on school board property, but for the usage of the public. We're also setting up a gazebo that will be also another outdoor learning class, which will provide winter storage as well to our equipment with educational signage enhancing the understanding of our local ecosystems and our bird migrations. There will also be two picnic tables outside in the area just for enjoying the view, working, or relaxing. A new feature that we will be having with our outdoor education system will be our weather station. So we will be installing a new weather station at our school. That was important to our students. A lot of our students, the weather was something that they brought up numerous times because of our erosion zones and et cetera. So we've decided to install a weather station within our school, and our students in our high school sciences will be providing on through our Facebook page or whatnot, local weather reports, if there's upcoming storms or whatnot, to our population as a part of their project. Space observation, we also are installing a telescope within the school property for evenings or evening education, I'll say. So if we want to look at the northern lights or the stargazing and so forth, we will have everything that's available there. These will be in a closed box, a closed shed, if you wish, for this that opens up by the roof. So if our community wants to use it, or community members are going to be using it, or organizations within the community, they will have to have permission to do so to have access to the building. They will have access, it's just that it's going to be locked up so that people aren't there at night, taking out these expensive equipment. And then we have La Maison de la Famille. So we already have a partnership with them before we came up with these projects, and they have already provided us with an Innu Prospect style tent that was bought by the First Nation company in Wendake. And we also have a wood stove that was handmade by a local artist in Blanc Blanc. These materials are currently in Chevry and ready to be installed. We are just kind of waiting to put all the project together for the spacing before we go ahead and put up the tent. The reason the Maison de la Famille reached out to us is because there was no space and they wanted to have one of these Innu tents because they wanted something to symbolize a home, right? Because it's called the Maison de la Famille, la Basse Côte Nord. You have these everywhere in the province of Quebec, les Maisons de la Famille, and it targets 17-year, like from the 0 to 17-year range and they usually have areas. But unfortunately, in our community, there was none. So by installing one of these tents within the school ground, they have something that they can call their home as well for a sense of belonging, right? After that, well, we have our nature trails that I was talking about earlier that go right through our school ground, and it's going to connect all of our stations together. And then we get into the financing and sustainability. So before this was just a high site on what we're doing at our school. It looks big. The reason it is big is because, like I said earlier, we had a team and we all put down what we wanted to see. Our next step after that is finding the funding and doing the research on how to get these done, right? This step is the longest step. Each grant and each partner is different, but if you have the support of your school and you believe in your project after you put it together, these things will all fall in as well. So our first part, well, was developing a comprehensive plan of our outdoor classroom project. We wanted to know the budgeting. We wanted to know what our long-term sustainabilities would be for this project, So we have a project now. How do we get this project to see the light? So this is where I came in, I guess, mostly. It was finding the funding opportunities to do this. And funding opportunities, I can probably write a book on it because there are so many for outdoor education, for getting these kinds of, especially since COVID, I think during our COVID, where we were trying to get everybody to be separated from each other outdoors, not in enclosed rooms and stuff. Uh, there is, at the government level, the funding is amazing. So we started going into what type of funding we could get. Um, I wanted to go first and foremost big because I said there got to be some type of funding to get us started off, and then we can go into partnerships and further funding with smaller ones. So I reached out to our municipality. I had already talked to our municipality because there's permits. There's like, what can we do on our grounds? Or is this going to be allowed? And then I went to our MRC, which is our regional municipal department, and we knew there was funding there that we could go get approximately $25,000 for projects one time a year. Then I found out that there was a different project funding that was made available, which is called the FRR4 Vitalization Project. The vitalization is described by the Ministère des Affaires municipales de l'Habitation, the AMH, as a set of actions put forward by a community to revitalize its environment and sustainably improve the quality of life, not only for our students, but for our community. And we were allowed to request $100,000 for our project. $100,000, we can do a lot with $100,000. So we went back to the drawing board because our project initially we were doing the platform this year. Next year we were going to look at adding things. What can we do with $100,000? Well, for 90,000, everything that was on the presentation we can purchase with $90,000. That's what my project total is. So this was a big game changer. If I had not did my first initial step by going to all my teachers and our staff and getting our support and saying what our vision is, even if it's not just for today, but long term, we wouldn't have been able to apply for this project this year. The reason is that then you're coming back. But because we had this detailed vision of what we wanted, even if it took us 5 years to get there, we were able to take that vision and put it on the drawing board and see how much we can get out of this funding. How do you get your money worth? It's important that we don't have everything. I cannot walk into a store right now and buy lumber because we don't have it. It's not a part of our reality. We have to order it and get it shipped in by boat in the spring. So we decided as a school that a lot of the park benches, the picnic tables, the platform itself for our school, those things were going to be just raw material that was purchased and shipped in, and that together as a community with our students, we were going to teach them how to build the benches, how to build a picnic table, how to make a platform. So not only are we taking our experience of education outside, we're helping our students learn the commitment of building the structures. And therefore, if you make it, you want to take care of it, and hopefully it continues that way. So we already had, like I mentioned earlier, Maison de la Famille de la Basse-Côte-Nord is a partner. We also already had Nutrition North Education, which was providing us resources and supports for food-related and health-focused education, already a partner of ours. Our municipality has always been a partner. We have multiple partnerships for our gyms, for our shared spaces with them. And then we have this summer camp parent committee under the local committee of Chevry, which we have a partnership because we share our spaces already. So with those four partners and this grant of $100,000 that we could go get, we knew that we were able to get the materials. After that, we needed future partnerships and expertise. So how are we going to get those? So I've went through and I've looked at many, many grants. So, and I've put a few on this. So we had the Bird Protection Quebec and Birds of Canada. They will support anything that has to do with bird watching stations and preservation, They also have a lot of teacher resources for your teachers. We have the Chair Tree Foundation. They have a $2,000 grant per year that help us with outdoor learning resources, materials, and also our environment initiatives for the woods. Then I went and looked at the Canadian Forest Trust to help maintain and enhance forested areas and promote reforestation efforts and integrate forestry education, which is a grant that you can go get every year to sustain what you already have. A lot of us already know about the Tell Us Friendly Future Foundation and the TD Foundation for Environment Foundation. Whoops, I'm sorry, the TD Friends of the Environment Foundations. They also give us funding for smaller projects on smaller scales or to maintain what we already have. And then we have the Focus on the Forest and the FQSA, which is the Fédération des Québec de Salmon Atlantique, which provides specialized expertise related to forestry and biodiversity. All these fundings and partnerships are going to help us continue the growth of our project within our school with different types of educational experiences for our students, uh, depending on the teacher, the criteria, or whatnot. You know, and then long-term stewardship strategies will be our community programs, which encourage shared responsibilities of maintaining these spaces. So I put together this presentation. We shared it with all of our partners and our hopefully our future partners to have a good base so they could understand what we would be doing. And then we come to the timeline. So our timeline, I've put it as January 2026. That's when we found out that we would have be eligible for $100,000 funding through that to MRC. And we put it as a 4 month. So that was finalizing our design, mapping out our trails, consulting with our educators, community members, and local expertise, and confirming required materials and budget details. I'm going to say that's done. Our next uh, our next step is we're waiting right now the presentation for to the MRC with for the funding. I've been working with a community development agent on their side. It's going to be officially presented in April 15th to the MRC to be stamped. We know that we've met all of the target criterias for this funding. We have great hope that it will be accepted, but we will not have the answer until after the 15th of April this year. Our phase two, obviously, is after. We can't do anything with these types of grants. I'm not allowed to do anything with our project or purchase anything until it's accepted. So our phase two is site preparation. So we have to clear and prepare the designated areas outdoors. Most of that has been done. The pathways are natural pathways that we're using. We're going to begin minor landscaping where needed and ensure the safety and accessibility considerations that are in place. And our phase three, we're going to start in September, which is going to be installing the learning station, signage, and outdoor equipment to build or enhance the natural pathways, introduce the seating, learning surface, and nature-based features, and conduct inspections to ensure the safety and durability. Hopefully, September 2027, we will officially open our nature-based learning stations. When I say officially open, that doesn't mean that some of the learning stations will not be in use prior, but we will have an official opening of our outdoor learning stations. There will be a training of the staff for our outdoor education use and activity planning, and we'll introduce the spaces to the families, our students, and our community partners.
And anyone
So,
else who wants to get on an airplane with me and go see, because I want to go. Greg, okay,
so,
we're on.
so this is our
Crystal, we're going to have to say thank you and ask questions at the end because we have 25
perfect.
minutes. We have Rebecca coming up. Um, this is so admirable, and why aren't we all living in where you live? Is there something else you want to close with before we move on?
No, I just want to say that I've done a lot of research on the outdoor classrooms and stuff, and my goal today wasn't to really, well, it's to show off our project. We all want to show you guys what we're doing, but it's hard as when we work as a community development agents or whatnot, and we're in different regions, and everybody has ideas and stuff. But if anyone ever wants to reach out to me, this is more why I wanted to be on today, is that you can. And I will give my coordinates to Danielle. And I have done a lot of research. So I mightn't, your projects mightn't be the same as mine, but I can always have time to maybe push you guys in the right directions. I was lucky. Before I became a CDA for the school board, I was a community development agent elsewhere, and I worked for our municipalities. So a lot of these fundings I knew about. So it
Crystal
would be,
has taken on like major project management with this. I saw your files and it is a deep dig and you definitely hit the jackpot. So it's very admirable, all these things rolling out because it impacts the community, the municipality, the students, like it hits all the boxes. Crystal, I'm going to ask you maybe to hold back and sit back and maybe some CDAs want to hang back with you at the end. I want to thank you so much. Honestly, this is so beautiful to see. Rebecca, I want to introduce you. You're coming from Concordia. If you could just frame what you're going to share with us today for everyone. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. As Danielle mentioned, my name is Rebecca. I'm a project coordinator for a project that's called Climate Action or Education Climatique. Um, and it's a 2.5 year long project that's now coming at its end. Our aim for it was really to produce materials that could be of use for teachers and school staff across Quebec in both English and French, who are hoping to introduce sustainability, climate change education, outdoor learning into their classrooms. So I'm just going to share my screen here real quick. Oh, I see what you mean. Danielle, they shifted things around on Zoom. Okay, so hopefully we can see this. Yeah, great, wonderful.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you very much. So, as I mentioned, the project comes out of Concordia University, but it's actually something that has been in collaboration with different researchers, educators, teachers, which has been a really important part for us. I know that there's no shortage of materials, pedagogical materials created for teachers, not necessarily in consultation with the folks who actually use them in their classrooms. So our aim with this project was to make sure that it is something that is usable for those of you on the ground doing this work. We have experts in our team in pedagogy, climate change education, specifically ethics, Quebec curriculum, children and youth psychology as well. And this is because we're addressing with these materials that I'll share in a minute, sort of two main volets, two main areas. So on one side, we were hoping to create materials that address eco-anxiety and all of the other emotions that come up when learning about the changes that our natural environments are going through and our social ones as well. And also materials that introduce sustainability concepts, climate change concepts to students. So I will mention that the funding that we received, because this was funded by the Ministry of Education, is specifically for elementary school folks. However, you will notice that I would say at least 2/3 of the materials that we've created can very easily be adapted to different age groups. So I'll just mention very briefly why this project came about. So we know from the literature, from conversations with the folks that we work with, that children and young adults are at the heart of the climate crisis. So they are those that will have to bear the brunt of it over the upcoming decades. And what we know as well from conversations with students and teachers is that they want to learn how to not just survive in this context, but thrive in it. And we also have international and national calls to integrate climate change education into formal curriculum in one way or another. So we see this with the QEP. Craig was mentioning earlier some of the work that he does with trying to integrate sustainable development goals. So the UN, as well as an international level, excuse me, is calling for teachers and educators to try to address this in their classrooms. However, we also know, this is again after 2.5 years of chatting with teachers and conducting interviews, folks don't have the time. There's already so many things that are on your plate that asking you to figure out how to develop and integrate new stuff into a curriculum, especially when you're working with recent curricular changes, like the citizenship curriculum is a lot, is too much to ask. So we wanted to try to provide some resources to help, at least in some ways, ease some of the burden. Evidently, there's not much we can do from the administrative side of things, although I wish we could. But when it comes to curricular work, this is where we're trying to help out. So with this project, we have 3 different products that are now available on our website for you. The first is educational materials and lesson plans that are explicitly linked to the CCQ, so to the Citizenship and Curriculum, cultural program. Although there's also connections that you can make with other areas of the QEP. We also have an online introductory course to sustainability, climate change, outdoor learning. And this is intended to be sort of general for any type of educator, teacher, school staff, even who are interested in sustainability. So the course itself doesn't address climate change or sustainability concepts in relation to specific progressions of learning, for example. It's just like a very background introductory material for anybody who might be interested in learning more about sustainability and climate change. And then the third thing that we have are instructional videos with hands-on activities created by many of our team members, including Katya, who's present here today. Katya is our spokesperson for the videos, so if and when you check those out, you will see her. She did a fantastic job. And these are meant to sort of supplement the other material that we have here. So what I'd like to do now, before going to the very end of the slide, is just go through the website with you really quickly, just show you kind of like what we're working with. So can I just make sure that we see the website now? Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. I'm very excited. This never works out for me. So our website is Edu Climate Action in English, and in French it is Eduaction Climatique. So when you come to the main page here, you'll see that you have quick access to the 3 resources that I mentioned here. So if I just click here on Introduction to Environmental Education, there's a full course that you can do from start to finish. You're also welcome to just click on modules that you're interested in. So for instance, one of the things that we look at here is the introduction to systems thinking as a tool to think about outdoor learning, sustainability, etc. So if that's what you're interested in, you can just click on there. It's a completely self-directed course. So you can just click through at your own pace. You can come back to it whenever you'd like. So that's our online course there. Just going to click back. We also have here our educational materials. So as I mentioned here, you're going to see them in sort of 2 broad series. One is called Making Room for Climate Emotions, and then which uses creative activities such as drawing, photography, collage to help students think through emotions. And then the second one here is really exploring the causes and solutions to the climate crisis. So you can download the entire series. You can download individual activities if you want. I just opened up here already one of them to show you kind of what it looks like. So you get a little bit of an introduction to a module. You also see, for instance, here, I don't know if this is big enough to see. I'm just going to zoom in here. We have CCQ learning progress indicators. So you can see how we're tying in the material to specific aspects of the CCQ. And You have a full set of information, background information for teachers that is then addressed in the activity itself. So you get activity description, materials needed, an activity breakdown. I'm just scrolling through here to show you a conclusion. And you also have at the very end, in this case, I just opened up the entire series, which is why it's 72 pages. But you also have any sort of graphic organizers or any other printables that you might need to work with your students. The other thing I will mention here, which you will see at the beginning of the module, we've included a sheet about how you might integrate climate change education into your existing lessons, specifically some of what are the best practices when you're trying to think through climate change education or sustainability education, and then specific CCQ sub-themes for different cycles. And so the idea is to try to facilitate a little bit of this integration for you. And then finally, we have our videos. So there's 6 videos that are posted here. We can see Katya here, so you can just click on the videos, watch them. The audio is in French, but we do have English subtitles as needed. And yeah, everything is on here. There's also, if you're interested in specific resources for each of the modules, you have teaching resources, excuse me. So the activities that are related to the modules, as well as any videos to help you carry out some of the activities. So this is the general website. The last thing I wanted to mention here, and I'm going kind of quickly, just in case, Danielle, you need some time to wrap up or if we have any questions. But I did want to mention that we're in the process of, well, making these available and testing them out with folks. So if you would like to visit the website, test out some things, please feel free to email either myself here at laurarebecca.esquivel@mail.concordia.ca, and I'll share this information with Danielle, or Mitchell McLarnon. And we'd be happy to answer any questions, hear any feedback that you have so that we can continue to improve these resources and make sure that they're of use to you, the teachers and educators that we're hoping will use them.